Ready?
Yeah.
All set? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen Sewer Commissioners October 21st meeting. Welcome. I need a motion for a clerk, please.
Have Mr. Titlebaum serve as clerk pro tem.
I'll second it because of necessity. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, reluctantly.
Opposed, abstained, unanimous. Okay, first, roll call, please.
Roll call. Tonight we have Chairman Pro Tem Tropiano, Selectman Whiteside, Selectman Titlebaum. Town Administrator Sullivan, I believe, is on his way back over here, and Town Council Attorney Bowen.
Thank you. Announcements, Mr. Titlebaum.
Let me dig through the folder here. There is one announcement I'd like to make, and that's that the Massachusetts DEP has responded to a grant application by our recycling committee and responded with a $1,500, I believe it is, award of funds to help them do their operations. So we're appreciative of Marilyn Russell and the rest of the recycling committee for the initiative to seek the grant and obviously writing a successful grant application.
You have, does he have the library? No, you have it, okay.
Do you have the coffee hour?
The coffee hour, okay. No, I have this.
Do you have the coffee hour?
I don't have the copy.
We have a coffee hour gentleman in the back there. Maybe he'd like to tell me what it is. Who's tonight's mystery guest?
We got it.
There we go, we got it.
Wareham Coffee Hour at 9 a.m., Agawam Village Community Room. Discussion of town meeting warrant, articles by several members of the Finance Committee. And this is once again Mr. White's promotion, Wareham Coffee Hour, 9 a.m., Agawam Village on Thursday.
Okay, all set?
One other thing, on Thursday, I was asked to attend another grant opportunity where the US EPA, New England region, awarded the town $75,000 towards installation of nitrogen mitigation equipment and monitoring in the wastewater facility. I'd like to thank Water Pollution Control Facility Director Campina for his work on this and everybody who assisted him. It was a pleasure to be there. There were some questions about why this wasn't announced ahead of time by any of the board members. We were told by the Buzzards Bay National Estuary Project, Dr. Costa, to let him handle it through press releases, so that's why this didn't go out as a public announcement. So, as I posted on one of the online forums, when somebody's about ready to hand you $75,000, you don't argue with them. So that's the story with that. And I think that's all I have.
Okay, Ms. Whiteside?
I have one. I've talked about it before. November 7th, 6 o'clock, the library is presenting The Murder of the Mystery Detective. We are almost fully staffed. We have some very exciting new cast members. They will be revealed from time to time, and I'm very certain that at least one of us at this table is going to be even funnier than I was. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, next up, citizens' participation. Is there anybody here to speak to us this evening? Can you come on down?
Mrs. Gay.
I'm waiting for Joanne. Could you go first?
Okay. Jerry? Come on down, Jerry.
Oh, Joanna Fredericks.
Gerald Barrows, Precinct 4. I asked last week about how much revenue is generated from Makepeace using the buses, and you told me to go to school committee. And I went and I asked Judge Sweat about it, and he says he doesn't know. Now, I would like to know if it could possibly be put on the agenda how much revenue is raised when Makepeace uses the buses on Saturdays and Sundays for their Harvest Spoon Festival, if it's possible.
Okay, we'll see what we can find out for you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, you're going to have to come down because...
No, we can do. We can skip.
Yeah, we'll let her go. You look prepared anyway. You have all those papers. You're all prepared.
Yeah. Hi, Beth Tiffany Gay, Chairman of the Library Board of Trustees, and I just wanted to let you know that on October 30th, we will be having a joint meeting with the trustees, friends, and the foundation to discuss future library services at the Wareham Free Library at 5 o'clock. The meeting's going to be open to the public, and we'd love to bring ideas and support. If you can't make that meeting, we are looking for citizens' input. You can email the trustees. It's on the website. We'll also be posting some facts on the Facebook page. So if you like the Wareham Free Library on Facebook, we're going to try to keep some up-to-date facts, especially with coming events. And we'll also be having some community suggestions, ideas at the front desk. So if there's input that people want to put in there, we're basically just trying to get a sense from the community of what they'd like to see what the library looks like in the future and work together.
You guys are working hard anyway.
We are. We're trying. And then the other thing was there's some myths that are out about the library, and we're just trying to squash them or give the right information out. And one of them was about the Falmouth library being privatized. And after a lot of research that we did, they do have, West Falmouth does have a private part of the library, but it's still funded also by the town. So those are just some of the information that we'd like to make sure that is correct that's going out.
Okay,
Right, that's it.
thank you.
I just have one question, because somebody asked me today, and I don't honestly know the answer.
Okay.
It is about the decertification. Do we know when it probably will be done by?
Yeah, and we wanted to come and talk about that too, but the decertification will probably happen on November 6th. The Mass Board of Library Commissioners will be voting, and we did have to fill out a piece of paper that said that we will not be applying for a waiver based on the budget constraints. So as of November 6th, I believe that we will be decertified. Patrons will not be able to borrow books from libraries except for Freetown, Somerset, I think a Sonnet were the only ones that said that they could. We will still be part of the sales network, but we will not be able to, none of the patrons will be able to put holds on books at other places, or that you'll basically only be able to get library books from the Wareham Free Library.
Okay.
Well, I have to ask a question then. Will that mean that they can take and put a hold on our books? Still?
I don't think so.
That is in discussion right now through the trustees and policy, so that's another, that would be information we'd love to hear in the feelings of people on October 30th.
Okay.
Or again, giving us information, we kind of need some feedback, but we have been discussing different ideas and options, user fees and.
Because I'm sort of one of those people who think that everybody should work together, one library to another. This whole certification thing is ridiculous, if you ask me. Everybody should be able to get a book from one place or another. When I was a kid, it was like that. I don't remember anybody being certified or decertified or anything else. You know, you wanted a book, you didn't have it, they'd get it from another library,
Right.
you know, quite often. But we loan a lot of our books.
We do, we're more of a loaner than we are a taker.
We're one of the big loaners, right? So, you know, if you want to borrow our books, then let us borrow yours, you know.
I understand, but it's part of a whole
You know,
different, larger
yeah.
formula that I have no control of.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for answering the question, Bethany.
All right, thank you. Next is appointments, Peter?
We had one person in the back.
Oh, we did, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Didn't
Ms.
see her.
Gomes.
Come on down, Ms. Gomes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good. Good evening, everyone. Sharon Gomes. I have sewer questions. I don't know if I could ask
You
now.
can
or
ask,
should I
yeah.
ask now? My question is last year at the town meeting, we found that there was a $7 to $8 million in budget within the sewer. Is that still the same, and has that money just been used for sewer users? Or has it been transferred out of any money's transferred from the sewer, not to do with sewer business?
I can answer that.
I can answer that, and Mr. Campaign, I can answer that.
Yeah, money doesn't come across to the town from the sewer department. Any monies that the town gets across is in-kind sort of expenditures, meaning that we pay, from the town side, we pay for all of their insurance and all that stuff, and they reimburse the town for it, okay?
Okay.
Whatever we use. That's the only expenses that the town gets from it. We're not allowed to spend any of that money. We're not, it's an enterprise fund, it's completely separated. We're not allowed to dip over there and say, well, there's $1 million here, and take it across and put it on the other side. We can't do that. There is money in the fund, which is there for the purposes of maintenance. They're building a maintenance, we've been building a maintenance fund for a while, and there is some money there. We're talking about using that, some of that money for the Swiss
So it
Beach
can't go
project.
into the general fund or
No, it can't.
enterprise fund?
It cannot.
Absolutely not.
My second question is, businesses and homes pay the same amount of money for sewage. And now with all the new business that we have, medical, malls and all that, we have 1 million more people on the system. The fairness of it is, there's no fairness because homes and businesses are getting the same amount of money, paying out the same amount of money. And I know that there was talk about meters and, water meter and paying what you put out. But with that, are you thinking about going up on that fee? And because it's been unfair, so what is it going to be so that it is fair for the people that live here year-round, 22,000 people that live here? How would you make that fair for those people? Because most of the people that live here are retirees and 1 in a home or 2 in a home.
Okay.
Well, we've been meeting with our sewer consultants, I want to say for close to a year now,
More than.
to develop EDU versus a usage comparison. We've just recently, and I don't know what happened to Mr. Sullivan, but I do know that he just entered into an agreement with our consultants, finalized an agreement today where they are going to do the actual rate study. They are going to make recommendations on what you would set for a flat rate, a base flat rate for anybody who's connected to the sewer, and then usage on top of that. So in other words, you would get X amount of gallons for your flat rate, just like you do on your water bill now if you get water from either of the water districts. You pay a flat rate, you get X gallons of water. You would pay a flat rate for sewer, you would get X gallons going out of your house. And from there, they will make recommendations to the board on how to implement it, how to set it, what those numbers should be, so on and so forth. The initial discussions we had with them didn't suggest that there would be a huge savings to the average homeowner, but I think they're going to give us various options for how to set that rate. In other words, if you decide to set your base rate at half of what the average sewer bill is, then the people who use twice as much water are going to have twice as much on the user side of it. If you set it for 3/4 of that, then you're going to have something different. So we're going through that process. I do know that once we get those findings in a few months, they're either deliverable to us or the new sewer commissioners when they come in. And at that point, I would imagine they would be holding a lot of public hearings to get input on what particular scheme to implement. But this board has made a commitment to looking into that, and we are studying it actively, and we're just waiting to see what they come up with.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Take care,
Is
Sharon.
there anyone else for citizens' participation? Come on down.
Don't pass her over, whatever you do.
No. Get in
She
big trouble
flew
if
with
you do
that. She did quick work of that.
Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Jonna Frederickson and live in Wareham. And I think Bethany covered everything that I was going to talk about with the Falmouth Library because there's obviously been some misinformation out there in the press and in other areas. I did bring, which I don't think Bethany knew, I brought sort of documentation and places to go on the web because some of the pages are confusing if you're looking for information. So I will leave this with you.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Make a notation and put it
All right, next up is appointments, please.
Yes, we have an interview appointment to the Marine Resources Commission. And that would be
Ooh,
Lawrence T. Burst, 19 White Pine Avenue, West Wareham.
come on
You here?
down.
Come on down.
Is it Burse or Bierce? Are you Mr. Burse or Mr. Bierce?
Burst.
Thank you.
I guessed right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Why don't you tell us about your interest in this committee and why you think you'd be a good fit?
Okay, I was approached by Don Jepson, who chairs the committee, asking if I'd be interested in participating, and so I did go to a couple meetings, and I found that I am. I'm retired from the Woods Hole Ocean and Graphic Institution Marine Department.
Wow.
I have had a Marine career for 44 years. I lived in West Wareham, and I think I could be an asset to the commission.
Thank you.
Got good credentials.
Any questions?
Just one comment. Thank you for your service to your country.
Thank you. Anything
Oh,
else?
thank you. I'd love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Okay, I move that the Board of Selectmen appoint Lawrence T. Burris, 19 White Pine Avenue, West Wareham, Mass. 02576, to a term on the Marine Resources Commission, the term to expire no later than June 30th, 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? It's unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Clerk's office.
Thank you for your about to begin service as well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The
Thank
clerk's
you.
office will have the paperwork to swear you in, and probably not tomorrow, but the next day.
So any time of my leisure?
Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
not too leisure, because I know they are moving fast, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Next, license and permits, please.
Let's see,
Buzzards
next
Bay
up
Productions.
is Buzzards Bay Productions. We've got 4 one-day wines.
Good evening.
Good evening. Why don't you tell us what these are for?
It's going to be the balance of the play cabaret, and then there's going to be the ones in November are for comedy, 2 comedy shows. Actually, it's a comedy competition. There's 40 comics coming. So it should be interesting. Somebody will get a laugh, I'm sure, out of 40 guys or women. Something should be funny.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, I move that we, Town of Wareham Board of Selectmen approve, in accordance with the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 14, special licenses to the Buzzards Bay Productions, 3065 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, for the dates of October 24th and 25th, and November 21st and 22nd, 2014. Authorized hour of the sale from 7 p.m. until 12 p.m. midnight.
Second.
Thank you.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? It's unanimous.
All set?
Thank you.
3-0-0.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the sewer business. Guy, you want to come down? Sewer abatements. It's the title one.
Okay, first on the list. 3125 Cranberry Highway. And if you could just give us brief background on this one.
3125 Cranberry Highway, I think,
Oh, is this the Meineke one?
yes,
Okay,
this is the Meineke one.
we're familiar with what's going on here.
Want to make a motion?
Is there any discussion, or I'll make a motion? Make a motion to approve the abatement for
You got your
the
paper?
property owner is Kuleris Konstantinos, trustee, owner of 3125 Cranberry Highway. And the amount abated, what's the amount abated, Guy? Do you have that handy?
It says here, the abatement is for $4,783. That was the new rate that he paid based upon the ED as property. I was reviewing it, and so if we abate him the $4,703 for last year, then he would have paid nothing for last year. So I guess we're giving him abating and just saying that he owes nothing
Yeah, I'm
because.
not gonna read it that way. I'm gonna read that the
It's-
abatement request is for the difference between the two sums.
Yes,
Okay,
it
so
is.
let me,
Would be $2,693.
okay, so it's not gonna be, okay, because it's,
That's
his
correct.
request was for 4783.
Yeah, it's wrong. That's the
So-
correct amount.
How much is it again, please?
2002.
693.
Right.
So that's the motion.
Second? Anybody, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstaining. 2-1. Passes. Okay, next up is map
This
12
is
lot. Go ahead, Jim.
Waterways. She knocked down her buildings, and we still charge the sewer. According to policy, once she demolishes the building, we're supposed to put the account on hold and not charge her any longer. That did not happen. So I'm asking to abate her at $477 because the buildings no longer exist and it meets the existing policy.
Okay. Motion?
Make a motion for account number 736891 to be abated $477 from May 2014 through June 2015.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, 300. Next,
This is 122 Swiss Beach Road in the amount of $397. Let's see, the water has been shut off from June 21st, 2011 to June, and put back on June 10th. I'm sorry, June 10th, 2014. So I can only abate her, go back 1 year, and I can only abate her for the period that the water was off, going back 1 year. I can't give, she asked for everything, and I can't give it to her.
Right, our
So-
policy is what it is
It's
on the
a
abatement,
policy,
so
it's a strict
yeah.
policy, so.
It may even be something under Chapter 83. I don't know if town council wants to weigh in here, but I do know that for the purposes of real estate assessments, you're only allowed to go back 1 year too, so it could be something that's in Chapter 83 as well, in addition to being sewer department policy here.
So the amount is the $397.36?
Yes, ma'am, that's
Correct.
all I can give her.
Move.
I move that we abate account number 739649 in the amount of $397.36.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous, 300. Cliff Ave,
On Cliff Ave, there's a lot of, I've got so much important documents here. And so we're recommending that she's, again, amount of $198.68 be abated. She requested a whole lot more than that, and again, I can't go back but a year. This property was condemned, and so she can't live in it. And so I'm gonna go back from the time that they condemned it in April until the end of the year, and that's all I'm gonna abate her. So I'm asking for abatement of $198.68 per policy.
Okay, then. I move that we abate account number 739694 in the amount of $198.68.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous, 300. Cherry Street.
It's another one, water's been off since 2009, it can only go back a year. So he's, the request is for, the request was for, actually, it's just a really unique one. He requested 477, we did the math, it's actually 496, so we're gonna get him what he's entitled to. So we're asking he gets back 496.68.
Wow.
Wow, that's a first.
We just, we try to do, we wanna do it right.
Move that we
That's
Motion,
his.
please.
Just wanna
move
do it
I'm
to
just teasing you.
It's,
abate account number 793020, $496.68.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous, 300.
This was one of those streets, double streets, Kiko and Pleasant at 65 Pleasant Street. So we had set up two separate accounts, can only have one account on the property. So we're asking that we're gonna eliminate one account, abate him when he paid on that account, and then we'll just wipe one out, so there'll only be one account on this property. So, this
Okay,
was.
motion,
one of the
please.
weird ones.
I move that we abate account number 738284 in the amount of $298.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Is this one of the streets that has to be renamed?
The Wankinko was, Ocean Ave's gonna become Wankinko.
Oceanside, I believe.
Oceanside.
Oceanside? Okay, thank you.
Oceanside has been washed into the sea by the state.
Okay, thank you.
State's washed it out.
Did you make a motion?
Yes, I did.
So, I seconded it.
A motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous, 300.
Last one.
Elm Street.
And Elm Street is a particular piece of property owned by the town of Wareham and leased out to the Atlantic Boat. And so we've been charging him 2.5 EDUs, and he asked me to do an audit, and I went out there and found out that the property he's renting is 15,000 square, so the EDU should be 1.5, not the 2.5 he's been paying. So I'm gonna adjust that and abate him what he's entitled to, 258.74.
Santa Claus Day over at the Water Pollution Control Facility.
You know, it's, we get a lot of these, and we just go by the policy, and it is what it is.
Yep, fair enough.
That's all there is to it.
I move that we abate account number 743961 in the amount of $258.74.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous, 300. Thank you, Guy. I'm sorry to make you come in 2 weeks in a row.
No, I don't have a problem with that. I'd like to, one quick thing, it's very simple. I've got a letter here that I'm gonna give out to the neighbors. We're gonna do some work at the plant. I just wanted you to be aware of it and make sure we're on the same page. And because we're gonna take down our tanks at the end of October and end of our season, we start taking tanks down for repairs and maintenance. And it could be costly, it could be odorless, it could be odorous. So we're gonna mitigate it. So what I would like to do is give out letters and I got a copy to give to the board, and give out copies of this letter to the homeowners around us to
Right.
prepare them, so if they do get an odor, that they know what we're doing, and it's gonna be about a week to 10 days to do this project. And I'm also gonna send a copy to the DEP. We're gonna walk over and hand deliver these to the neighbors, and so if there's any questions and comments, invite them. So I'd just like to do that, so I want to.
No, that's a good idea. I think that's a great idea, actually.
Guy, will it be done by Thanksgiving? I think we had complaints because of a holiday once.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you want me to read this into the record, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, October 2014, this is from the Water Pollution Control Facility to abutters regarding scheduled routine maintenance. Dear property owner resident, on or about November 3rd, 2014, we will begin our routine maintenance of the aeration basin at the sewer treatment plant. This involves the dewatering of the basin. This process could possibly take a week to complete, and there could be an odor issue. We will make every effort to minimize any potential problems. Your patience and understanding will be greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Guy Campina, Director. So, thank you, Director Campina.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Guy. Next up, vote on the state election warrant.
Point of order, now, excuse me,
What?
when he's gonna give that notice just to the butters, now, doesn't the odor just goes just to the butters? That odor don't go other places besides the butters?
I'm gonna let him do this, Jerry, but, you know, it's not a point of order, but go ahead.
To answer your question directly, yes, through you, Mr. Chairman, we have a history of odors over the years, so we know who we affect, and odors travel a certain distance and they drop off. So all the folks that have at one time presented odor issues or whatever, so we're gonna walk down the immediate butters, the butters around us, and then we're gonna go one layer deeper just to make sure. So we're gonna cover everybody that may be affected, yes.
Okay,
I wouldn't
great.
go to your house because it would be kind of facetious, but there's a range, and we get everybody, yes, absolutely.
The reason why I say that, because one time there was odor in there, and it did go to town road, don't count me, because I know.
Okay.
I smelled it right in my yard.
All right, okay, whoa, enough, okay.
Thank you.
Next, vote on the state election. Can you read that into the record, please?
You got it there?
Yeah. It's, you're gonna have to speed read this, please.
Yeah, okay. I guess the press can go to sleep for a while. Commonwealth of Massachusetts, William Francis Galvin, Secretary of the Commonwealth, Plymouth Shiretown, to either of the constables of the town of Wareham, greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of said town of Wareham who are qualified to vote in state election to vote at Precinct 1, Wareham Town Hall, 54 Marion Road. Precinct 2, Ethel Hammond School, 13 Highland Ave. Precinct 3, Minor Forest School, 63 Minot Ave. Precinct 4, Deacon School, 760 Main Street. Precinct 5, Deacon School, 760 Main Street. Precinct 6, Minor Forest School, 63 Minot Ave. On Tuesday, the 4th day of November 2014, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the following purpose: to cast their votes in the state election for the candidates for the following offices and questions: Senator in Congress for the Commonwealth, Governor and Lieutenant Governor for this Commonwealth, Attorney General for this Commonwealth, Secretary of State for this Commonwealth, Treasurer for this Commonwealth, Auditor for this Commonwealth, Representative in Congress, 9th District, Councilor, 1st District, Senator in General Court, 1st Plymouth and Bristol District, Representative in General Court, 2nd Plymouth District, District Attorney, Plymouth County, Register of Probate, Plymouth County, County Treasurer, Plymouth County, County Commissioner, Plymouth County, Regional School Committee, Upper Cape Cod. Question 1, law proposed by initiative petition. Do you approve of a law summarized below on which no vote was taken by the House or the Senate of Representatives on or before May 6, 2014? Summary. This proposed law would eliminate the requirement that the state's gasoline tax, which was 24 cents per gallon as of September 2013, 1, be adjusted every year by the percentage change in the consumer price index over the preceding year, but 2, not be adjusted below 21.5 cents per gallon. A yes vote would eliminate the requirement that the state's gas tax be adjusted annually based on the consumer price index. A no vote would make no change in the laws regarding the gas tax. Okay, question 2, law proposed by initiative petition. Do you approve of a law summarized below on which no vote was taken by the Senate or House of Representatives on or before May 16th, 2014? This proposed law would expand the state's beverage container deposit law, or also known as the bottle bill, to require deposits on containers for all non-alcoholic, non-carbonated drinks in liquid form intended for human consumption, except beverages primarily derived from dairy products, infant formula, and FDA-approved medicines. The proposed law would not cover containers made of paper-based biodegradable material and aseptic multi-material packages, such as juice boxes or pouches. Good for parents of little kids. The proposed law would require the Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, EEA, to adjust the container deposit amount every 5 years to reflect to the nearest whole cent changes in the consumer price index, but the value could not be set below 5 cents. The proposed law would increase the minimum handling fee that beverage distributors must pay dealers for each properly returned empty beverage container, which was 2.25 cents as of September 2013 to 3.5 cents. It would also increase the minimum handling fee that bottlers must pay distributors and dealers for each properly returned empty reusable beverage container, which was 1 cent as of September 2013 to 3.5 cents. The Secretary of EEA would review the fee amounts every 5 years and make appropriate adjustments to reflect the changes in the consumer price index as well as changes in the costs incurred by redemption centers. The proposed law defines a redemption center as any business whose primary purpose is the redemption of beverage containers and that is not ancillary to any other business. The proposed law would direct the Secretary of EEA to issue regulations allowing small dealers to seek exemptions from accepting empty deposit containers. The proposed law would define small dealer as any person or business, including the operator of a vending machine, who sells beverages and beverage containers to consumers with a contiguous retail space of 3,000 square feet or less, excluding office and stock room space, and fewer than 4 regulations under the same ownership of the Commonwealth. The proposed law would require that the regulations consider at least the health, safety, and convenience of the public, including the distribution of dealers and redemption centers by population or by distance or both. The proposed law would set up a state clean environment fund to receive certain unclaimed container deposits. The fund would be used, subject to appropriation by the state legislature, to support programs such as the proper management of solid waste, water resource protection, parkland, urban forestry, air quality, and climate protection. The proposed law would allow a dealer, distributor, redemption center, or bottler to refuse to accept any beverage container that is not marked as being refundable in Massachusetts. The proposed law would take effect on April 22nd, 2015. A yes vote would expand the state's beverage container deposit law to require deposits on on containers for all non-alcoholic, non-carbonated drinks with certain exceptions, increase the associated handling fees, and make other changes to the law. A no vote would make no change in the laws regarding beverage container deposits. I'm going to pause for a drink. Because wait, there's more. Okay, I wish people would write less wordy articles and initiative petitions. Do you approve? Question 3, law proposed by initiative petition. Do you approve of a law summarized below in which no vote was taken by the Senator of the House of Representatives on or before May 6, 2014? Summary. This proposed law would, 1, prohibit the Massachusetts Gaming Commission from issuing any license for a casino or other gaming establishment with table games and slot machines, or any license for a gaming establishment with slot machines. 2, prohibit any such casino or slots gaming under any such licenses that the Commission might have issued before the proposed law took effect. And 3, prohibit wagering on the simulcasting of live greyhound races. The proposed law would change the definition of illegal gaming under Massachusetts law to include wagering on the simulcasting of live greyhound races, as well as table games and slot machines at commission-licensed casinos and slot machines at other commission-licensed gaming establishments. This would make those types of gaming subject to existing state laws providing criminal penalties for or otherwise regulating or prohibiting activities involving illegal gaming. The proposed law states that if any of its parts were declared invalid, the other parts would stay in effect. A yes vote would prohibit casinos, any gaming establishment with slot machines, and wagering on simulcast greyhound races. A no vote would make no change in the current laws regarding gaming. Question 4, law proposed by initiative petition. Do you approve of a law summarized below in which no vote was taken by the Senator of the House of Representatives on or before May 16, 2014? Summary. This proposed law would entitle employees in Massachusetts to earn and use sick time according to certain conditions. Employees who work for employers having 11 or more employees could earn and use up to 40 hours of paid sick time per calendar year, while employees working for smaller employers could earn and use up to 40 hours of unpaid sick time per calendar year. An employee could use earned sick time if required to miss work in order, 1, to care for a physical or mental illness, injury, or medical condition affecting the employee or the employee's child, spouse, parent, or parent of a spouse. 2, to attend routine medical appointments of the employee or the employee's child, spouse, parent, or parent of the spouse. Or 3, to address the effects of domestic violence on the employee or the employee's dependent child. Employees would earn 1 hour of sick time for every 30 hours worked and would begin accruing those hours on the date of hire or on July 1st, 2015, whichever is later. Employees could begin to use earned sick time on the 90th day after hire. The proposed law would cover both private and public employers, except that the employees of a particular city or town would be covered only if, as required by the state constitution, the proposed law were made applicable by local or state legislative vote or by appropriation of sufficient funds to pay for the benefit. Earned paid sick time would be compensated at the same hourly rate paid to the employee when the sick time was used. Employees could carry over up to 40 hours of unused sick time to the next calendar year, but could not use more than 40 hours in a calendar year. Employers would not have to pay employees for unused sick time at the end of their employment. If an employee missed work for a reason eligible for earned sick time, but agreed with the employer to work the same number of hours or shifts in the same or next pay period, the employee would not have to use earned sick time for the missed time, and the employer would not have to pay for that missed time. Employers would be prohibited from requiring such an employee to work additional hours to make up for missed time or to find a replacement employee. Employers could require certification of the need for sick time if an employee used sick time for more than 24 consecutive scheduled work hours. Employers could not delay the taking of or payment for earned sick time because they have not received certification. Employees would have to make a good faith effort to notify the employer in advance of the need for earned sick time if the need for earned sick time is foreseeable. Employers will be prohibited from interfering with or retaliating based on the employee's exercise of earned sick time rights, from retaliating based on an employee's support of another employee's exercise of such rights. The proposed law would not override employers' obligations under any contract or benefit plan with more generous provisions than those in the proposed law. Employers that have their own policies providing as much paid time off usable for the same purposes and under the same conditions as the proposed law would not be required to provide additional paid sick time. The Attorney General would enforce the proposed law using the same enforcement procedures applicable to other state wage laws, and employees could file suits in court to enforce their earned sick time rights. The Attorney General would have to prepare a multilingual notice regarding the right to earn sick time, and employers would be required to post the notice in a conspicuous location and to provide a copy to employees. The State Executive Office of Health and Human Services, in consultation with the Attorney General, would develop a multilingual outreach program to inform the public of the availability of earned sick time. Proposed law would take effect on July 1st, 2015, and states that if any of its parts were declared invalid, the other parts would stay in effect. A yes vote would entitle employees in Massachusetts to earn and use sick time according to certain conditions. A no vote would make no change in the law regarding sick time. Hereof fail not and make return of this warrant with your doings thereon at the time and place of said voting, given under our hands this 21st of October. Alan H. Slavin, Chairman, Patrick G. Tropiano, Clerk, Stephen M. Holmes, Peter W. Titlebaum, Judith Whiteside.
Second.
Yes. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, unanimous, 300. All right, this next one is discussion and vote to expand the Beach and Tourism Committee. There's nobody here from the committee. And not only is there, Peter is from the committee?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Are you prepared to deal with this?
I'm prepared to tell you about it.
If not, we can put it off.
No, the Beach and Tourism, we'll do it today. The Beach and Tourism Advisory Committee presently has 5 members. 1 is a member of the Board of Selectmen, that's me. There's 4 additional members appointed by us to serve on there. We're looking to expand the committee membership to 7. One of the things that we found is that we have been very tourist-centric, but not sufficiently beach-centric. And since we are both a Beach and Tourism Advisory Committee, we've had some people with some connections to the local beaches who've expressed an interest, and so I'm asking for the authority to increase that to 7 members.
Okay.
Any discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion about it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, opposed, abstain, unanimous, yeah.
300.
300.
Next up, any other town business not reasonably anticipated 48 hours
We got a new one, we just signed it.
prior to the posting of this meeting. Selectman Whiteside, do you have any 48-hour business?
No.
Chairman
No.
Tropiano, any
Nope.
48-hour business?
Nope.
I have no 48-hour business. Next
Ask-
item.
Wait a minute, did you ask,
No,
okay.
you would have piped up.
What do you want to do?
Town Administrator's Report.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of a delay. I am happy to announce that we certified free cash today in the amount of $1,462,883. So it will be available for fall town meeting to the first time in quite some time. that we've had it available for
Wow.
such.
Congratulations.
So,
You want to repeat that number?
$1,462,883. So this will allow us to do our transfer to the stabilization fund of at least 50%, which I'm actually recommending a little bit higher at 750,000, and do the actions on the $190,000 article for assessing, the $180,000 for the capital, and we have the numbers also for the union contracts as well. And whatever's left over, I would suggest we don't spend, because the Farmer's Almanac is saying we're gonna have a snowy winter, which means snow and ice deficit is going to happen, so.
No, it's interesting because I heard from the Ocean, what do you call it, Association today, was on the radio talking about this was gonna be a warm winter, in fact.
Yeah, they said warm, but they said that's going to flow up and we're actually going to have snow. So even though it's going
It's
to
gonna be warm and snowy?
no,
How
it's
the heck
snowy.
is that? Warm and snowy.
Yeah, only the weathermen can tell you that
Yeah,
one.
warm and snowy,
They're good.
chance of meatballs, right?
Either way, they're going to be right, right? One way or the other.
Okay, anything else?
That's the only item. The one thing I'd like to bring up is that, and humbly request that we put a moratorium on abatements and review them going into the future, and just make sure that we have the policy down pat, including the EDUs and such, so that everything we're doing is just we're taking it by the book. So.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Just, we have discussed in the past about grabbing a couple of a week and going through them and seeing whether they make sense or not. I think that's something that we probably should start doing. I thought we were in agreement that we would do that, but, for whatever reason, we haven't gotten to it. So perhaps going forward, we could ask the chairman to put a batch of these on. No reason why we can't look at 4 or 5 of them. I mean, I think there's like 30 categories or something.
Yeah,
so
we can do that.
there's no reason why over the course of the next 6 months, we just can't take a look at it and see what's going on with them as we're awaiting the results of the sewer rate study.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. Look, I have kind of I know that nobody likes to give abatements because, of course, it's money, and nobody wants to give money out of the budget. I mean,
Right.
I get that. But, abatements are designed for inequities. When you have an inequity, you abate it. That's part of the system. That's what it's there for. It's not for equity. I mean, you don't give somebody an abatement because there's no reason to. I mean, and I think we're pretty rigid about it, in fact. As a matter of fact, I think town council has some information about this as far as, I don't think anybody's ever asked him, but, I mean, the purpose of abatements, is it not for inequities? I mean, isn't that what we do with this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I mean, the law provides for abatements because no valuation system, no assessment system is ever going to be 100% correct. There are always going to be anomalies, and the law recognizes that the way that you rectify the anomalies and is simply to look at specific problems that arise and correct them. You can have a system that's 99.9% perfect, but there's always that 0.1%, and that's what the abatement is designed to cure. It's never one size fits all.
Right. Yeah, see, so, I mean, I don't think we need a moratorium, but I do believe that we need to start looking at each of these things individually. I also agree that I think a lot of this is gonna go away on us when we get to like March or April. I really do. I think this is gonna be sort of a moot point at some point.
It's all really going to go away from us on May 1st.
Well, yes, it is, but I think
Is it over the horizon gone away?
according to the agreement we have and all that, I think by the time March, April rolls around, we're gonna probably be doing something about this to resolve it anyway. But I don't have any problem with looking at each of these individually if you want. We'll take a couple of them and put them on and deal with it.
Well, maybe we
Yeah.
can suggest to the chairman when he returns to do
Okay.
that.
We
I'd
already,
appreciate
we already
that.
made
All right,
that
no problem.
suggestion, it was already voted on.
Did the liaison reports already go?
No.
No,
All
we
right,
haven't
great.
raised yet.
All right, consent agenda, we don't have any bills, right?
What about liaison reports?
I wanted to skip those. Liaison report.
I'm blowing it all up.
I'm blowing it up.
Are you done?
From the FinCom meeting, we had the,
Right, yeah, we met, town moderator, town council, Administrator Sullivan and I attended the Finance Committee hearing slash pre-town meeting on Wednesday last week. I presented, for the public's edification, I guess, the board-sponsored articles, discussed what they were, why they were on there. One thing I do want to say is, this relates to Article 11, which is about amending the sewer legislation. I've heard from more than one source that people seem to be pretty confused about this. They're concerned that if this passes town meeting and goes to the legislature and dies up there, that means there will be no separate sewer commissioner board. That is not true. The existing legislation is on the books. It'll stay on the books no matter what happens with this. So if you vote for this at town meeting and it goes up to the legislature and dies a slow death, which we know has happened to prior legislation, it's going to have no impact on the legislation that was signed into law this year. So if you vote for it, you're not running the risk of doing away with the sewer commissioners, and that's not the case at all. And I've heard that from a couple of sources, so I just wanted to make clear, and I hope that the word gets out there that that's not the case.
you're on town council to,
Yeah, I mean, if Attorney Bowen would like to weigh in, I'm sure he's not going to say too much different than what I said, but...
yeah, because if you don't mind, because my question had been, it had come up in the minority opinion, which stated, we also felt that if this article is sent back to the Massachusetts legislature for a third time, it will stall and die in committee or not be acted upon because the state may feel that the town doesn't know what it wants, which may result in not being ratified in time for the April elections, which is extremely confusing.
Right.
With your permission, Mr. Chairman, I never want to get into the position of criticizing somebody's attempt to advocate for a position one way or the other. So I'm just going to address this in terms of the basic facts. You have a piece of legislation that has been enacted, is in effect, there will be an election in the spring, regardless of what happens with Article 11. If Article 11 were passed, and it went to the legislature, and it died in committee, it would have no effect on the legislation that is in place right now. There is an election in the spring, there will be an election in the spring, whether or not Article 11 passes or fails. It's just as simple as that. The proposition that somehow the death of one bill in a committee would affect something that's already on the books, it's just not logically connected.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Whiteside? Anything?
Liaison reports?
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Thank you. The cemetery commissioners had a meeting for October 9th, which was postponed to October 16th. One member communicated that she was not going to be able to be there. A second member showed up, and a third member did not show up, nor did she communicate whether she could or would be attending the meeting. The meeting has been rescheduled for this Thursday at 8 o'clock at the Municipal Maintenance Department. And it's important, we know that one person is not going to be there. The second individual will be there, and we hope that the third individual will be there as well. The problem with this committee continues to be not getting the day-to-day, the deeds and the approvals for headstones, which need to be okayed by the commissioners. So their inability to meet in a timely fashion and get this stuff done is impeding the day-to-day business of the town.
Okay, I have nothing. All right, so that's the end of the liaison reports. Consent agenda, we don't have any bills, do we, Peter? No. Okay, then we have minutes, okay, go for it.
That the town of Wareham Board of Selectmen approve the minutes of October 14th, 2014 as drafted.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous, 300. Is that it? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye, aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous.
Good night.